This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Free agent quarterback Cam Newton is going back to the Carolina Panthers. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports if Newton passes a physical, he'll get a one-year deal that could be worth up to $10 million for the rest of the season. ESPN's Damian Woody.
If Cam Newton's a starting quarterback, which by the contract he signed, he's going to be the starting quarterback. I think they need to cater this offense around him to get him acclimated as soon as possible.
Damian Woody on Barton Hahn. ESPN's Diana Rossini reports the teams who are interested in wideout Odell Beckham Jr. believe he won't make a decision about where he'll play next until after Sunday's games. Beckham cleared waivers on Tuesday, becoming a free agent. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports Bulls center Nikola Vucevic will miss multiple games. He's now in the NBA's health and safety protocols. He's averaging 14 points and 11 rebounds a game. The Bulls open a 5-game West Coast trip tomorrow against the Warriors. Wisconsin running back Chez Malusi will miss the rest of the season with a left leg injury. He was the Badgers' leading rusher this season with 815 yards on the ground.
Michael, your chance to win $1,000. Text the nationwide keyword WIN to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's WIN to 200-200.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit.
Let's go!
Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, The Sportsocracy. Presented by Angell Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Wicked Weed Brewing. Drink different.
And welcome in to the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We are live in the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different, and we got what? Breaking news? With the Carolina Panthers, and once again, we have a team worth watching.
No, you don't.
Oh my gosh!
No,
Stop
you don't.
it, please.
As a matter of fact, I could make a case that this actually makes you worse. But I have put this out on every social media. Any Panther fan, please explain to me why this excites you so much. One, and actually two, because two of them said virtually the same thing. Two shining lights of Panther fans. Tommy Bradley, that has been involved with this show forever, and Adam Black. At least it makes us watchable. Okay, I'll give you that. He's a lot more fun to watch than P.J. Walker.
Yes.
I'll give you that. He's not good. I don't know what it is that people are seeing here. I hated this before I ever saw the deal. Then I found out you paid him $10 million for the rest of the year. I audibly laughed out loud. Literally, I'm not nuts. I know people say that all the time. Because you get text messages from people and at the end it just goes, LOL. You didn't really laugh out loud. I actually audibly laughed out loud. Mm-hmm. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. Who were you competing with?
No one.
Who do you think was going to bring him in?
No one. There was not another team.
$10 million just because, well, we've got some money laying around and we want to give it to somebody.
Oh, my gosh. Cam Newton's back as a Carolina Panther. We will have tickets to give away for the Charlotte Hornets New York Knicks game coming up later on in the program. We will announce the winner of the Comment of the Day contest. Look, all you got to do to get involved in this is either go to the YouTube stream, subscribe to the channel, get in the chat, say something really awesome, and you could be today's winner, or you can hit us up on social media at The Sportsocracy.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Yep, on all of them. Give us the comment of the day. And the 2 tickets that we have to the New York Knicks Kemba Walker return. Oh, man, there's just all kinds of returns to Charlotte. You got Kemba Walker and Cam Newton in the same city at the same time. What is this, 2019? Woo!
It'd be like 2016.
Let's run it back.
Yeah, it's just...
We'll have the tickets for you again.
This is like the gift that just... Look, there's nobody happier about this than me. Because this can only go one of 2 ways. I heard Adam Gold, who precedes us on this here ESPN Asheville radio station, say, this is great for people that do what we do because this makes this a topic forever.
Yep.
So there's only 2 ways this can go. Either he's going to be good and I'm going to have to eat crow. I would put the percentage of that at, what are the chances you get hit by lightning? I haven't seen that stat in a long time. Or I'm going to be right and I could just go, I tried to tell you.
Right.
I watched this 2 times last year with the New England Patriots. And here's the part that you're not going to hear anybody else say. He doesn't know this offense. This is not the Carolina with Ron Rivera and Riverboat Ron and Scott Turner. This is Joe Brady. Now, just picture for me, if you haven't been up to date on Panthers football, think back to that LSU team with Joe Burrow that threw it constantly. That's the offensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers. So now you're bringing in a quarterback that does not throw the ball well. Nobody will doubt that. Nobody will dispute that. There is no way for you to dispute that. So you're bringing him in to learn an offense in 10 days because he's your starter. He's not starting this week. Stop with that. There's nobody on the planet Earth that could learn a playbook in 2 days and wind up on a field that they've never seen before. 10 days. That's how long you have to teach Cam Newton just enough of this offense to get him on the field. And his reward for that is you get to play the coach that knows you better than anybody on this planet in Ron Rivera. Good luck with that. I'm not trying to rain on your parade. If you want to be happy, you can be as happy as you want to be. I was happy when we drafted Sam Darnold. I was equally happy when we traded him to you. And now you see why. But the problem is, and this is the bigger, grand scale problem here. Bye, Matt Rule. Bye, Joe Brady.
Yep.
Because why would you stick around for this? Because I can look into the crystal ball of the future here. There's no way you get him out of this franchise. None. And you just paid him $10 million for the back half of this year. Do you think he's going to play for that next year? Look at Panthers Twitter right now. You would think they won the Super Bowl because they signed a mediocre quarterback that nobody wanted.
For way more than what he was worth.
Super Bowl.
That's the thing. For way more than what he was worth. Like he signed with New England last year for $2.5 million for the season. Wasn't that what it was?
Yes.
You just
With
signed him
bonuses.
for 10. Check that. 8 games.
8 games. Yeah.
8 games. 8 games. And you guaranteed him $4.5 million, up to $10 million
with roster bonuses. All he has to do is be on the roster.
Yeah,
that's it.
$1.5 million roster bonus as well.
And a lot of people say, "Oh, the money doesn't matter. We had salary cap space; it was just sitting there atrophying." A, you don't get to carry it over now. That is a problem. B, you just gave him a benchmark of what to look for on the next deal. And if you think there's not going to be a next deal, I got a bridge to sell you. Look around. All you have to do, go to the Twitter page of your Panther fan friends.
Right.
Just go to any of them. I don't care who it is. They could be miserable about it. They could be happy about it. But here's what they're doing. They're talking about it. And that is the whole reason he is your quarterback, because there is nobody that is in an NFL circle that I have ever talked to that has said, yeah, Cam Newton is a guy that could come in and save a franchise right now. Ron Rivera, he's in a little bit of a quarterback problem. Ryan Fitzpatrick got hurt playing Taylor Heineke. He looked at Cam Newton, and who knows his offense, by the way. He knows the verbiage in the offense. He ran it for years. And he looked at him and went, I'm good. I'll go with Taylor Heineke. And And do you know why? It's not that he's not better than Taylor Heineke. I've never disputed that. Talent for talent? Yeah, he's probably fractionally better. He's a headache. And here's why he's a headache. Because there are people that still think he's Superman, the guy that would run around the stadium and give footballs to little kids sitting in the front row. He's not. He's not. This move will be every bit as bad as Superman Returns.
Yep.
And I only say that. I've never seen that movie, but I've heard it's terrible.
It is awful.
I don't do Superman.
It's one of the worst comic book superhero movies ever made. And I don't have any hopes for this new Carolina Panthers Cam Newton reunion thing. And frankly, it just kind of makes me feel sick thinking about it. Because here's the thing. Look, Carolina Panthers not my team.
Nope, not mine.
However, they are a team that I have always wanted to do well. And
it's greatly beneficial to us if they're good.
Absolutely. But seeing the backflips that are going on right now on social media over Cam Newton returning to this team, everybody thinks it's 2015 all over again. And it ain't, guys. Like, after 2 shoulder injuries, he's not the same guy. He can't run the way he used to. Hey, here's one great thing. Hey, the drops that's no longer a problem. The drops are no longer a problem because he ain't going to be able to hit a damn receiver.
Yeah, it's hard to drop a ball that bounces to you.
Yeah.
That is on the
right
side.
It either bounces to you or it goes over your head. So the drops for DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson, done. But we don't have to worry about that anymore.
Here's where this gets so painfully stupid to me. All right, so like I said, look at all the backflips that Panthers social media is doing right now.
Yeah.
Oh, we're competitive again. First of all, no, you're not. Because I want you to look around the roster, look at Bill Belichick's roster from last year, and look at yours. Which one's better? In a much lesser division. Didn't even sniff the playoffs. That was with an offseason to learn the playbook. You know why? Because much like this offense he's getting ready to slide into, it's predicated on short, timed, accurate passing. What is the number one thing that nobody has ever said Cam Newton is good at?
Passing accurately.
Exactly what I just said. And so now you think he's just going to and let's just say it does work. Let's say I'm completely out to lunch and I'm completely wrong. What's the best it can be? In theory, what is the best it could possibly be? You play the Arizona Cardinals this week, and that is going to end badly. Then you go Washington football team next week. All right, let's say with Cam Newton you win that. Go to the Dolphins and win that. Say you win that, the next game against the Falcons. And yay, everything's all hunky-dunky because we're 7-7? Or 7-6? You're 7-6. And then you go up against at the Buffalo Bills, Buccaneers, at the Saints, at the Buccaneers. There's not a win in that. Not one. There is not one win in that. So the best you can do is go 7-10. Oh, he's better than P.J. Walker. You don't want to be better. Why is this so hard to understand? You're not a playoff team.
Because
I don't care who walks through. If Tom Brady came through the door, this is not a playoff team. It's not. I hate to break that to you. You have a series of receivers that cannot catch. I don't know why that's so hard for people to understand. It's just the way it is. You've got a running back that you're paying $1 bajillion that can't stay healthy. And let's just, for fun, just for the sheer fun of it, let's say you made the playoffs. Who are you going to beat?
None of them.
So you've done all this. It's going to run your coach away because I promise you Matt Rule's looking at this going, I'm out. I don't have any interest in doing this. So that Penn State job opens, and there he goes. And now this is the bigger part of this that no one's talking about. Who would want this job? All right, so let's say Matt Rule leaves. Who looks at this now that you're beholden to Cam Newton? It has become abundantly clear. You paid him 5 times what anybody else would. And I don't even know that he had another offer, but if he did, it would have been at the vet minimum. And the fan base is losing their minds. And now who would want that? What coach is going to look at that and go, yep, sign me up for that? In a market where you're going to have a Cincinnati Bengals job probably open, the Minnesota Vikings, this would be the worst job in the NFL. And there's even a bigger problem than that.
What's that?
Do you remember about 5 months ago, Urban Meyer brought in Tim Tebow, and we laughed out loud because he was bringing him in to play tight end. The difference between this and that is fractional at best. Because you're doing this to sell tickets. You will never convince me otherwise. Nothing. I don't care if you hook yourself up to a lie detector and pass it. I will never buy that this is anything but
Those things are inadmissible in court anyway.
I just won't believe it.
Of course not.
That's what
it doesn't make any more sense.
Is re-energize the fan base. And here's the thing. Even if it works, at best, I'll even give you the Saints. You're not beating the Bills. You're not beating the Buccaneers. At best, you go 8-9. Mm-hmm. And where does that put you? Smack dab in the middle. NFL purgatory. And then you go into next year, and you've already lost two of your picks because they go to the Jets. So you don't have a 2 and you don't have a 4. So you have a 1, a 3, and a series of other late-round picks. And now you're picking right in the middle of the draft. So you can't get the impact lineman that you need because your line is bad. And so what's the benefit? You wanted to just pump up the stadium?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. You did that. The Jacksonville Jaguars do that. Mm-hmm. You're better than that. I mean, just straight up. And I can't say this any nicer.
You're not.
I said this going into this show. We said this morning as soon as the Cam Newton's meeting with him thing came out. There is no and I've asked people around the league. And me and my phone have been very well acquainted today. Somebody give me something. Somebody explain this to me in any shape, form, or fashion. This is a below average accuracy quarterback that's had 2 seasons in his life where he was a high level quarterback, and they were more than a presidential term ago. And now you're trying to bring him in at midseason, and this is supposed to reinvigorate the fan base? You know what's not going to reinvigorate the fan base? When you go to Arizona this week and get beat by 30. That's not going to, because that's who you are. I know he's better than Sam Darnold. That's fine. You're invested in Sam Darnold. You gave him 9 games. And so you know what? Do you know what free agents see? And I've already had somebody that represents players tell me this today. They see, so you invested that much in Sam Darnold and you tapped out on it in 9 games. Why on earth would I want to tell my guy to come there? This is already a small market. This is a small NFL market. It's just the way it is. If I'm not mistaken, it's the 29th biggest media market in the NFL. So it's already hard to get free agents here anyway. And you basically just told all the agents, hey, I'll tap out on a guy and nothing flat.
Yep.
I tapped out on a 24-year-old quarterback who is one of the 6 youngest starting quarterbacks in the NFL. I tapped out on him in 9 games. Didn't want to grow with him. Blamed him completely in spite of the fact we lead the NFL in drops by 5. There are 4 teams in the NFL that don't have 5 drops. You have that many more than everybody. Mm-hmm. But that's Sam Darnold's fault because he had a bad game against New England. And he's had bad games. I get it. Trust me, I watched every pass the kid's ever thrown in his life. If you don't think he's better than Cam Newton, I got a bridge to sell you because he is. Don't throw stats at me because I don't care.
Jeremy, you and I disagree on a lot of things. We disagree on a lot of things. We disagree on the way that we see the game. You see it very analytically and very, nuts and bolts, X's and O's. Narrative guy's going to have his speak. Coming up next, right here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
We're watching some rains roll into the forecast here tonight. Late night rain showers, temps down into the mid-40s here in the valley. Front cruises on through Asheville, and northwest winds take over the forecast for Friday and into the weekend. Our high Friday, 60 degrees, lows in the mid-30s tomorrow night, and even colder Saturday night, down in the mid-20s here, well below freezing here Saturday night, Sunday morning. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Don't stay up late to binge that show. Sleep early to get a Taco Bell toasted breakfast burrito. This is your warning. You can't get one if you sleep in tomorrow morning. Toasted breakfast burritos. Available at a participating Taco Bell location near you during breakfast hours only. 7 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Join the action as the Asheville Championship takes place at Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville on November 12th and 14th. The tournament will feature Minnesota, Princeton, South Carolina, and Western Kentucky as the inaugural field. Get your tickets now at all Ingalls Markets locations. Be part of the action and follow along as it all starts in Asheville. Don't miss the inaugural Asheville Championship, November 12th and 14th at Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and navage? And should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug, it's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril, around the back of the nose and out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Put your business top of mind with customers this holiday season. iHeart Ad Builder is the cost-effective way to create a custom radio ad that can reach customers wherever they go. Answer a few questions online and Ad Builder does the rest. Get started at iHeartAdBuilder.com.
Are you 65 or older and haven't had a colonoscopy? Join a colon cancer screening study and you could earn up to $575.
I'll screen.
It's a study for a non-invasive way to screen for colon cancer from home. By joining, you can help advance the science of screening.
I'll screen too.
You'll just need to provide a stool sample, and a colonoscopy will be done through your own insurance. Enroll now and screen to help create a better future for all.
I'll screen.
I'll screen.
Let's all screen for colon cancer.
Visit screeningstudy.com to sign up or learn more. That's screeningstudy.com.
The stockings were hung by the chimney with care in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. St. Nicholas and my family, they'll all be here.
The holidays are coming, and so are the guests. Are you sure your home's ready? Let Over the Moon Cleaning Services do the heavy lifting for you. Right now, Over the Moon is offering Sportsocracy listeners 20% off a deep clean when you schedule bi-weekly or weekly cleanings. Call them today at 585-0146 and book a free estimate. 585-0146.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
It's ESPN Asheville. Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene. It's a monumental day in the state of North Carolina. I mean, this will be the day that goes down in history in the state of North Carolina and the Carolina Panthers fan base. Because now we know you don't care. You don't care about winning. You don't care about putting a product on the field that can do anything. You don't have a plan for your franchise, and you have an owner that's going to bend at the whim of the mob. That's exactly what this shows me today. I'm sorry.
I'm not sorry.
Cam Newton, look, and I know a lot of Panthers fans, and I know there are a lot of level-headed Panthers fans out there right now that are going, this is not going to help us one iota. And they're right. Mm-hmm. This is not going to help you. This is not going to turn around your season. You're not going to be a playoff contender because Cam Newton's back in town. What am I seeing right now? All of the comments right now about Cam Newton coming back to town. Oh, we're back, baby. It's like the good old days. No, it's not.
No, it's not. And do you know, here's what I don't understand. Do you not remember that you were trying to run him out of town 3 years ago?
Yes.
Is that just like, did that just not happen?
Exactly.
Did I imagine it? And here's the question that seems to be recurring the most. What are they supposed to do? Roll out P.J. Walker. That's exactly. Do you know he's not good? Yes, you do. What good does it do you to end up 7-10, 8-9? You think you're building some kind of culture? No. Because if he's good, you have to bring him back.
Right.
Literally every Panthers fan I have heard has said, we know this is not going to be great, but at least it makes us exciting or we're better. That's the point. And maybe it's the draft guy in me because that's what I am.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the tanking for Tua worked out. What was your alternative? Look at what Miami had before Tua Tagovailoa.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go Jay Fiedler, Ryan Fitzpatrick? Because that's really what you're doing right here. Look at every good team in the NFL. Every team that you could certifiably say is a Super Bowl contender. The Arizona Cardinals, what did they do? They took a quarterback at number 1. Buffalo Bills, what did they do? They took a quarterback at number 7 in Josh Allen. They took a risk. Josh Allen had a 75% chance of being a bust to the highest extreme.
Mm-hmm.
He was the riskiest quarterback I've ever evaluated. But did it work out? Yeah. Name me a team that just keeps going journeyman quarterback. Let's see. Let's just name a couple off the top of my head. The Denver Broncos. Who was the last franchise piece quarterback the Denver Broncos had? Do you know why? Because they don't ever get a shot at quarterbacks because they constantly pick from 10 to 20.
Mm-hmm.
In my life, I could name 3 quarterbacks that have ever gone in that range that have been franchise guys. You know how many I can name that have gone in the top 10? About 30. It's all playing the averages. No, the draft is not a fail-safe. This is a no-win scenario. And if you don't believe me, let's make a fun for charity right now. You're never winning a playoff game with Cam Newton again.
Mm-hmm.
Ever.
Mm-hmm.
Ever, 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 ever. And when he retires, if I'm right, you give $20 to charity. If I'm wrong, I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll do it with anybody that wants to come at me.
Right. Don't come at me, Carolina Panther fans, and say, oh, I'm so happy Cam Newton's back in town, and then expect me to believe that you care about having a winning franchise.
I'm not even going to say that.
Because this is not what winning franchises do.
But this is fan delusion syndrome.
Of course it is.
We talked about, we literally have a video on our YouTube about this because this was the good old days.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Newton's the best player in franchise history. Ever.
Yeah.
He is the best player in this franchise history. And so you want to get back to that glory day. Here's the thing. That day passes.
Mm-hmm.
We did this with Joe Montana. Eventually, San Francisco looked at it and went, okay, we're going to find something else. Now, they went to Steve Young. But there are a lot of – Bill Belichick right now. He did the Cam thing for a year, and he went, you know what? This isn't it.
Yeah.
And what did he do? He went Mac Jones. Does he know Mac Jones is limited? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But that's at least a solution.
Yep.
This is not a solution. And I'm seeing a ton of Panther fans just I don't know why this is so hard to understand. He's better than P.J. Walker or Sam Darnold. I'm going to level with you. I don't agree on Sam Darnold, but I think it's very, very close. I do agree on P.J. Walker. That's not the point. The point is, where are you today? Where are you right now? You're exactly where you were 3 years ago with a different coach and a different cast of characters. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's all you've done.
Mm-hmm.
And so now what's the long-term goal? Do I think Sam Darnold could be the long-term goal? No. Do I also think there's an entire possibility that you're going to sit here and pay this kid $25 million? 2 years from now, he winds up on somebody else's roster at 26 years old, by the way, with a ton of starting experience, winds up as a backup somewhere, beats somebody out, and then becomes a good quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
Do I think that's possible? Absolutely. Ryan Tannehill. It's not the most unheard of thing. And I got news for you. Sam Darnold's more talented than Ryan Tannehill is.
Mm-hmm.
He had a second act. The problem is that you're basically throwing up a red flag to every agent in the league of we will tap out instantaneously. Name me a quarterback that you've ever 9 games in gone, yep, well, that's just not working. Jamarcus Russell comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Sam Darnold's that bad? No. He's the best alternative he was and he still is. None of that changes.
Yep.
It's just a short-sighted move. You want to be happy that now you're competitive? More power to you. You can do that all you want to. But here's what I don't want to hear. And here's what this is what I'm straight up not going to understand because I remember things very, very well. The same people that are happy about Cam Newton, I don't want to hear you complain in a year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear you complain in a year of, oh, why can we not find a quarterback? Because any veteran quarterback looked at you and went, nope.
Not going to do it.
Nope. I'm not going to do it because the first time I struggle, you're going to Robbie Anderson gets to just say whatever he wants to, and the franchise will tap out on me. I'm good.
Yep.
I'm good.
I don't. I only understand this move to be from one spot. One spot. There's one guy to blame for all of this, and it's David Tepper. David Tepper has made a grave mistake in signing Cam Newton.
I would,
and we'll tell you why in just a moment.
The Sports Tag.
Just a bit outside.
All right, here's the 411, folks.
I love stories about world records. And especially when it's, things that I can't accomplish myself. A new world record has been set. A new 100-meter dash world record. Julia Hawkins. She has set the world on fire with a historic run, completing the 100-meter dash in just 1 minute and 2 seconds. Julia Hawkins is 105 years old. It's a brand new category. Never existed before. In the 100-meter dash, there is now a 105-year-plus category. And Julia, the Hurricane Hawkins, now owns this record. If you maybe that name sounds familiar to you, might be, because she set the record just a couple of years ago for the fastest 100-meter dash, use that very loosely, in the 100 to 104 age range. Unfortunately, that got beaten last year by a woman named Diane Friedman. She beat the record in the 100 to 104 age range, but now Julia Hurricane Hawkins is back in the record book. 1 minute and 2 seconds. When they asked her afterward, they said, you did beat your age, so your age is 105, and you did it in 102. Does that make you happy? Her answer, no. She really wanted to do it in under a minute. And that's what true athletes are all about. They're all about pushing themselves to the limit. And I think we all should give a great round of applause to Julia Hawkins today for having the world record for the fastest 100-meter dash at 105 years old. That would be about my 100-meter time.
She would. You would be staring at her back. There's no doubt about that.
She would dust me with her 62-second 100-meter dash.
100%. I'm not sure that you can get to the end of the hallway in 62 seconds. All right, just to prove that I'm not just going to throw shade at Cam Newton today, I'll do it at other people too. Mike Oresco, commissioner of the American Athletic Conference, has said that there is unfair pressure on number 5 Cincinnati to dominate teams in a way that isn't required of Power 5 conference champions. Do you know why?
Bull hockey.
Do you know why there's no pressure on them? Because they play a legitimate schedule. That's why. And see, it's things like this, you couldn't possibly believe that. You really couldn't. That so long as they beat if they beat everybody by a point and they go undefeated, they should be allowed in the playoff. You don't believe that. You don't. That's one thing that we absolutely do not stand for here is disingenuous. I'm never going to lie to you. He's never going to lie to you. We will give you our honest opinion. Mm-hmm. This is lying. This is 100% lying. You're looking at this going, well, my champion's not going to make it. I have to rally the fan base. He said, instead, we're getting double standards and shifting goalposts. Power 5 conference teams are given the benefit of the doubt because of their brand names. If Cincinnati goes undefeated, they should not need any help to make the playoff. Stop. Stop talking. That is the most absurd thing I have heard in an extended period of time. How in the world would you put them in over Oklahoma?
Mm-hmm.
They haven't beaten anybody either, and right now they have you ranked ahead of them, which is insanity to me.
Cincinnati playing the victim. It's unbelievable to me that there is no self-awareness with Cincinnati or the AAC to realize who you are and what is required of you. Like, I'm sorry if that sounds harsh, but it's the God's honest truth. If you're going to play inferior competition compared to what the other teams play, yes, you better beat the snot out of every one of them if you hope to have a chance at the national championship.
If you're beating, this is straight out of the story, its last 3 opponents were Navy, Tulane, and Tulsa.
Mm-hmm.
None of the 3 of them are good.
Mm-mm.
They've beaten them by an average of 11 points. Those 3 teams are 6-20 combined.
Yep.
Against the AAC. It's not like they're independents that are playing the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
They're bad against bad teams. It's like, yeah, you're gonna need style points.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I have to answer this because it keeps coming up in the chat. It keeps being asked, what is it that would be the great plan here that I would have that's different than signing Cam Newton? It's very, very simple. It's one of two things. Look, I'm not in the building. All I can tell you is what I see out of Sam Darnold, and I've seen it for 3 years. Do I think Sam Darnold's a better long-term prognosis than Cam Newton? Absolutely, I do. Absolutely, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's 24 years old. But let's just say you're tapped out on Sam. You're stuck with him for another year and a half. Nothing you can do. You go into the draft, you do your due diligence on quarterbacks, and you figure out if there's one out there. As opposed to, and that's just something this franchise has done historically. That's why Cam Newton is so beloved.
Mm-hmm.
Because outside of Cam Newton, the second best quarterback in this franchise's history is Jake Delhomme, who was a cast-off from New Orleans that just so happened to hit. That's not going to happen on a regular basis. Look at the starting quarterbacks in the NFL. Where do they come from? 90% of them were drafted by the team that's playing them.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how this works. So what would be better? In my opinion, and this is just, I have already done my due diligence on quarterbacks. Here's what I would prefer you have done. You go in, if you're just totally dead set against Sam, you draft Kenny Pickett out of Pittsburgh. If you think there's still a shot with Sam, you draft Malik Willis.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but there's no guarantee that. There's no guarantee here either. Cam Newton's getting older. He could actually be worse than the last time we saw him. You know what I can tell you he's not going to be? 2015.
He's not going to be better.
He's not going to be that.
Right.
But I guess that's me being the draft guy. I don't look at anything in the moment. To me, there are two kinds of teams in the NFL. There are teams that can win a Super Bowl, and there's teams that aren't.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest mistake that teams make is teams that can't acting like they can. Because you make these short-sighted moves. The Sam Darnold move, at the end of the day, was short-sighted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's young. He's also expensive. That's the reason nobody else was in on Sam Darnold, because they knew you were going to have to kick in the option. It'd be one thing if Sam was just available. Got news for you on that one, too, because I asked that. I've asked that question with people that I know around the league today. What would Sam Darnold command on the open market right now?
How much?
The same deal that Cam Newton just got.
$10 million?
20 over the course of the year in bonuses. Now, it wouldn't be roster bonuses. It would be tied to escalators and things like that. It would look a lot like what Ryan Tannehill did in Tennessee.
Right.
But he's still 24 years old. And it's not even – it's the result on the field is not – that's where people get lost. Because people get so lost in wins and losses. At the end of the day, best case scenario, Cam comes in, he's 2015 Cam. You're 9-8.
Mm-hmm.
You're 9-8, you might sneak in the playoffs, and in the first round, you're going to catch the LA Rams. And then what?
Congratulations.
And then what? But see, that's the thing. And then what?
Mm-hmm. And then you have to bring Cam back.
Well, you're going. I don't think you're going to get out of bringing him back regardless.
Adam just said this in the comments on the YouTube stream. Check us out at thesportsocracy.com. Hit on the live video and hit subscribe on the YouTube channel. Join the House of Reprehensibles, and you can get your comments weighed in on the program here as well. But Adam Black just said in the comments, and they could still do all of that. They can still be bad, and they could still go out and get a quarterback. No, you can't. You can. You can go draft a quarterback, but guess who he's going to sit behind?
Cam Newton.
It's going to be Cam Newton. Because if Cam Newton comes in here and he looks anything above mediocre, you're stuck with him.
Yeah, because the fan base is going to be in the exact same.
Exactly.
You got to understand, we see all of these things. We're an affiliate of the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to sit here and throw shade at the Panthers. They're very good to us. This move makes zero sense. So there's two options of what we could do. We could either come here and lie to you, which is what I'll be really honest with you. I've heard multiple people say things, whether it was in written text, on air, whatever. You're being disingenuous. You don't really believe that, and I know that.
No.
Because you know what he is. We've all talked about this. We watched it last year.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that 33-year-old quarterbacks don't tend to do is get better when they've sat around for a year. So I can come in here and lie to you to try to make you feel better. That doesn't make any sense. No. And it's disingenuous.
Yeah.
So what's the high end here? You feel better for a few months because it's a more entertaining product to watch.
That's what it's all about.
You know who did that? There's been multiple teams that have done that. The Denver Broncos are the ones that keep screaming at me. Denver just did the same thing with your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
They came and got Teddy Bridgewater. What did we all say? Hey, bye, Teddy. Why? Because he's limited. You know he can never take that next step. If you want to be 9-8, cool. Cam Newton's shown that he can lead you to that if that's what you want. But the more time you sit here and waste doing this, the less opportunities you have at a Malik Willis or anybody like that. Because here's what you're not going to do. You're not going to draft a quarterback. Okay, I shouldn't say not because I can't believe you signed Cam Newton, but that's just me. You're not going to draft a rookie that needs all of these things and put them behind the face of the franchise that can do no wrong. And it's not to everybody in the fan base, but it's to a very large section of the fan base. There's nothing he can do. Let's say Cam Newton comes out here and he looks like Jordan Love. You think anybody's going to go, hey, we should bench him for P.J. Walker? No. Now, that will make it easier in the offseason, but the fear is that he's actually kind of good. And then you can't get away from it.
Oh, yeah.
But this is what
I said this morning on the morning show. Every weekday morning at 10 a.m. On YouTube. You can't let this out. You went into today knowing you were going to sign 100%. Cam Newton. If you were David Tepper and Matt Rule and whoever else, Scott Fitterer, whoever else was in on that meeting, you knew this was going to happen. But you can't bring him in the building and not sign him because your fan base will riot. Pun intended. The roaring riot will not stand for Cam Newton to be brought in for a meeting and not signed. So this was David Tepper just bending to the mob and saying, you know what? You're right. We're completely listless. We have nothing to go with. We have nothing for this franchise. Yeah, so why not? Let's overpay Cam Newton to come back in here, and let's just look horrible in doing it.
It's
baffling.
This
to
is
me.
the best way I can explain this. The NFL comes with its own tidy bunch of problems. Carolina currently has a problem. They're paying Sam Darnold $18 million next year, no matter what happens. It does not matter if Sam decides he wants to retire and go wax surfboards. It doesn't matter if he's abducted by aliens. It doesn't matter. They're cutting a check for $18 million. So now, this is a kid that we can all agree he's going to be on the roster because there's nothing you can do. So now you're going to have this kid that you're 3 draft picks into, $25 million into, and he's going to do what? Sit behind Cam Newton?
That's exactly what's going to happen.
And how do you think that's going to work? How do you think that's going to work with Cam Newton having him over his shoulder and him sitting behind Cam Newton? You think that's going to be copacetic? You think that's going to really work well in the locker room? Because I promise you, the first game that Cam comes out and, let's just steal a game log from what I watched him do last year in New England.
Okay.
The first time he comes out and goes, there's one specifically that I remember. The first time he goes 9 of 18 for 84 yards and two interceptions, I guarantee you one of those receivers is going to go, well, Sam's better than that. Sam's better than that. Oh, he threw interceptions, yeah, but at least he got us the ball every once in a while.
Oh, but he's fun. But he's fun, and he's charismatic, and we like watching him, and all of this stuff. I mean, look.
So so basically what I'm saying before you go where you're headed here, what I'm saying is that you have cast yourself into a no-win situation. Because now you have brought this media darling in Charlotte to your team, knowing full well that he's a limited player. You know that. We all know that. He knows that. And so you have now put yourself in this position that he's probably going to be on the roster next year. And yes, I'm inferring that because I'm just seeing you do what the fan base was asking for.
Right. Patrick Holt said in the comments that Panthers fans down in Charlotte, they're not all about this move.
No, and I guarantee you they're not.
And I hope that's the case. Look, I really hope that's the case, that this is just something that David Tepper has cooked up in his head of, hey, we'll bring back Cam Newton, and then all of the Twitter mob will stop adding me. Saying, why haven't you signed Cam Newton? Because he's so much better.
Well, and it also could be something that I've long said. Twitter's not real life.
Yeah.
I don't know where people on Twitter come from. I don't know where they hang out because I've never met anybody that talks like they do on Twitter ever in my entire life.
Well, I mean, it's to the point where the Fox TV affiliate they broke into normal programming and covered live the press conference this afternoon.
And that's a big deal nowadays because that doesn't happen very often.
Right. Like they're treating this like this is, a war breaking out or something. Like, oh, the president's about to speak. That's how they're treating this down in Charlotte. At least the media is. And maybe it is just media blown. And maybe the fan base is not all about it. But y'all need to get a handle on all of your social media followers because they're all about it. The top 3 trending things in sports right now are Cam Newton, David Tepper, and Cam is back. Those are the top 3 things trending right now. And the one thing that it says to me is you don't care. You don't care because he's not going to lead you to the playoffs. Somebody made that comment as well in the comments. Oh, this is like, Major League Baseball going out to get pieces for a playoff run. You don't have a playoff run. There's not a playoff run in this team. You have wide receivers that are awful right now. You got a running back that can't stay on the field. Do I love your defense? Yes, I love your defense. I can't say anything against your defense.
We were waxing poetic about this team.
Absolutely.
And that's my point.
But this just blows it all up because you're creating the divide. You're not only creating the divide in your locker room from guys who are in that locker room that I know there are a bunch of them that are going, why are we doing this? Mm-hmm. This is stupid. You're creating the divide in your locker room. You're creating the divide out on the streets and in the watch parties and all of this of people going, this is dumb. And the others going, oh my God, it's 2015 again. And it's because of stuff like this. I found this on SB Nation. Of course, we know it's fan blogs. Guys write all these, all these articles, and this was the thing. At least Carolina Panthers football has a soul again. In the 18 months since Newton left, the Panthers had become one of the most boring milquetoast teams in the NFL, inspiring apathy instead of emotion. The desire to install an analytic, data-based approach to football inside the organization with Matt Rule left Carolina feeling like a terrible math class that you just had to sit through for 3 hours each week. Time will tell if the new approach for the Panthers will work, but the early returns aren't good. Newton never represented hard numbers. He wasn't the perfect scientific quarterback. Watching him play was like listening to jazz fusion. Sometimes confusing, often challenging, with enough moments that blew you away and that made you feel something. That is back. Are you out of your mind?
That apparently they forgot the first 4 games of the season when you contended with the Dallas Cowboys and you were up. You were 3-0, and Sam Darnold had the best 4-game stretch in franchise history. Hold on, before you go any further, we have breaking news.
Oh, breaking news!
And this is pretty aggressive breaking news.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
We know where Odell Beckham Jr. shall land.
Please say the Carolina Panthers.
Nope.
Oh.
Would you like to guess where it is?
The Kansas City Chiefs.
No.
The New England Patriots.
No.
The Green Bay Packers.
No. Odell Beckham Jr. is expected to be an LA Ram.
Wow, that came out of left field.
Oh, good gracious.
Holy cow.
Ian Rappaport reported 3 minutes ago he was narrowing his choices down to the Rams and the Packers. And 2 minutes ago, Adam Schefter went, LA Rams. Here we go. Odell Beckham Jr. Good gracious. The Rams are a team that can do something like this.
Mm-hmm.
They are a team that can do something like they can look at a piece like Odell Beckham Jr. and go, you know what? You don't have to be great. We're great. You just have to be an ancillary piece. Oh, good. How in the world are you going to stop that offense? They have Robert Woods and Odell Beckham Jr. on the outside with Cooper Kupp and Van Jefferson in the slot.
Mm-hmm.
With Tyler Higbee and Darrell Henderson and Sony Michel and Matthew Stafford. Good gracious. That is not how I thought that was going to go.
We do have football tonight. We'll have more on that in the second hour, as well as catching up with Jones Angell. He's going to, we're talking Tar Heel sports. We got Tar Heel football tonight. We got the North Carolina Tar Heels against the Pittsburgh Panthers here on ESPN Asheville. We also, we'll talk some basketball with him, and we'll talk more about what's going on in the NFL as well. But next, Thursday Night Football tonight, Jeremy will give you his picks.
Join the action as the Asheville Championship takes place at Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville on November 12th and 14th. The tournament will feature Minnesota, Princeton, South Carolina, and Western Kentucky as the inaugural field. Get your tickets now at all Ingalls Markets locations. Be part of the action and follow along as it all starts in Asheville. Don't miss the inaugural Asheville Championship, November 12th and 14th at Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville.
Be the one.
Howe, first down and more. Goodbye. Magical play by Sam Howe. And it's intercepted. Holy cow, Carolina's going to win. Light that bell tower blue.
The Heels head to the Steel City to take on Pitt Thursday night. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30, kickoff at 7:30. Right here on your home for Carolina football.
The Tar Heels play here. And this is ESPN Asheville.
Joint pain relief doesn't have to mean drugs and surgery. Now there's a better alternative that patients are raving about. Hey, this is for my friends at QC Kinetics, local medical professionals using natural biologic treatments, highly concentrated healing properties from your own body put directly into the affected joint, restoring and repairing damaged tissue the way your body was designed to heal. If you're tired of the Band-Aid solutions like drugs and steroids, and you really want to avoid surgery, you need to check out QC Kinetics. Regenerative, restorative, natural treatments for knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, pain in your hips. Don't continue to suffer, and don't go in for surgery until you check this out. See if you're a candidate. QC Kinetics. Call 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. Surgical pain relief with lasting results. 828-333-9517.
Okay, so usually I'm a last-minute shopper, but the deals at Kohl's, way too good to pass up. I got 40% off holiday decor, 40% off the cutest St. Nicholas square finds for the table, and found the toys topping my kids' list this year. You can even save an extra 15% and get $10 off when you spend $25 or more. So now I get the whole early shopping thing, and I'm a big fan. Select styles, 15% off ends November 20th, $10 off $25 ends November 12th. Toys, coupons do not apply. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
From city streets to back roads, from road warrior to carpooler, there are some things you can always count on, like the reliability, durability, and power of Die Hard, America's most trusted auto battery. No matter where your journey takes you, count on Die Hard to get you started on the road ahead. Available at your local Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest stores.
Hey guys, I'm Ziggy, your local Philly girl, owner of Ziggy's Bakery and Deli. I've created a traditional northern deli with only the most authentic cheesesteaks outside of Philadelphia, served with provolone, white American, or Cheese Whiz. Our other classic deli sandwiches are made with the best quality meats and cheeses, available sliced by the pound. Join us for breakfast for house-made bagels with our custom cream cheeses. Or for something heartier, try a pork roll, egg and cheese, or house-cured lox. Ziggy's Bakery and Deli, in the corner of Asheville Commons, 1550 Hendersonville Road, open 8 to 3, Tuesday through Saturday.
Pernicious, adjective, having a harmful effect, especially in a gradual or subtle way. Now, Wicked Weed's flagship IPA, winner of a silver medal at the U.S. Open Beer Championships, isn't harmful unless you're a competing IPA. Brewed in the mountains of western North Carolina, Pernicious IPA will destroy your expectations for all others in its class. Pernicious IPA inspires you to enjoy fresh and often. Order up at wickedweedbrewing.com. Wicked Weed, the official craft beer of the Asheville Championship. Drink different, drink responsibly.
Coffee store closes on me. Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
4-0 last night. Thank you, Central Michigan.
It's about time.
If you took the over, which I didn't actually give, then you went 5-0 because they hit the over with 4 minutes to go, or 4 minutes gone in the third quarter. Maction. It's as good as it gets. I got two games for you tonight, both. One in college football, one in the NFL. First one, the North Carolina Tar Heels are a 6.5-point dog tonight at the number 21 Pittsburgh Panthers. The over-under in this game, 71.5. I honestly think this could look exactly like Wake Forest did last week.
Mm-hmm.
I heard Tank say this morning, this Pittsburgh defense is, they can do this, that. They can rush the passer.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. This defense is not that good.
They can stop the
They've
run.
given up a lot of yards. They've given up a lot of points.
Yes, they have.
This one, to me, is easy. I'm going over the 71.5. Now, who do I think is going to win this game? You're going to see a theme here that these Thursday games are weird, and I don't really like giving points in them. Pittsburgh's a 6.5-point favorite. I think that's too many. I think this is a field goal game one way or the other. I don't feel good taking either of these teams in the money line, but I will happily take Carolina plus the 6.5. Finally, tonight, Thursday Night Football in the NFL, the Miami Dolphins host the Baltimore Ravens, and the Dolphins are an 8.5-point favorite. The over-under is 46. I'm going aggressively over this number. Like I just said, those Thursdays are weird. The thing I like more, and you're going to tell me I'm crazy, I don't like giving a touchdown on Thursday Night Football. Give me the Miami Dolphins plus 8.5.
Go and do likewise, gents. The money's out there. You pick it up, it's yours. You don't, I got no sympathy for you.
Yeah, you're crazy.
I'm telling you, how many games on Monday night or on Thursday Night Football this week this year would have covered a touchdown?
How many?
It's 3. You know how many of those teams were at home?
Mm-hmm.
One of them.
Mm-hmm.
There was only one, and it was the Houston Texans. I don't think the Miami Dolphins are that bad, and I don't think that Baltimore defense is that good.
Okay, all right.
Now, do I think Baltimore's going to win? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But I have this funny feeling this game's going to be tied with about 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and Lamar Jackson is going to go on a just unbelievable march down the field that burns the clock out.
Right.
Jacoby Brissett or Tua Tagovailoa, whoever plays quarterback for Miami, they're going to be able to move the ball. That's why I love the over. I saw 46 and went, yep, that's not enough. That is not enough points.
You got a monkey knife fight for tonight? Go to monkeyknifefight.com, play daily fantasy sports props. It's very easy to do. Monkeyknifefight.com, use the promo code TANK, T-A-N-K, and they will match your initial investment up to $50 and give you a $5 free play.
Not a lot happening in the NBA tonight, but there is one that I kind of like. I am playing the more or less 3.6x multiplier between the Miami Heat and the Los Angeles Clippers. I am taking more than 26.5 points for Paul George, less than 18.5 for Tyler Hero because he is not good at basketball, in spite of what he thinks about himself. That will take your $10 buy-in and turn it into a $36 prize.
All right, monkeyknifefight.com, promo code TANK, T-A-N-K. Coming up in the next hour, we will have more about the Odell Beckham Jr. signing with the Los Angeles Rams, because of course he did.
I promise not to say any more mean things about the Panthers either. We went an hour.
Enough is enough. We have beaten that dead horse.
I'm Cam Newton'd out.
Right. Nothing to say until we see it on the field. Plus, Tar Heel time with Jones Angell. We will preview tonight's game against Pitt, review last week's game against Wake, and we'll talk a little basketball as well.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
We are watching some rains roll into the forecast here tonight. Late night rain showers, temps down into the mid-40s here in the valley. Front cruises on through Asheville, and northwest winds take over the forecast for Friday and into the weekend. Our high Friday, 60 degrees, lows in the mid-30s tomorrow night, and even colder Saturday night, down in the mid-20s here, well below freezing here Saturday night, Sunday morning. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Napa Auto Parts. At Napa, when it comes to serving you, their motor never quits. From next day delivery to curbside pickup to getting involved with local communities. Get the parts you need when you need them. That's Napa know-how.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Don't stay up late to binge that show. Sleep early to get a Taco Bell toasted breakfast burrito. This is your warning. You can't get one if you sleep in tomorrow morning. Toasted breakfast burritos. Available at a participating Taco Bell location near you during breakfast hours only. 7 a.m. to 11 a.m.
iHeartRadio's 2022 Podcast Award nominees are waiting for you to start your binge.
The iHeartRadio Podcast of the Year award goes to...
Tap play on Podcast of the Year nominees like Stuff You Should Know and Smartless. Check out true crime podcast nominees like Dr. Death and To Live and Die in LA. The best comedy podcasts, best news podcasts, and over 20 other categories featuring the best of the best. Open the free iHeart app and tap podcasts to start binging today. iHeart. Discover music, radio, and podcasts you'll love.
From the Angell Studios, this is ESPN Asheville. WPEK, W225, CJ Fairview, WMXM, Waynesville.
The Atlanta Braves are world champions.
I'm Doug Brown with breaking news. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports free agent wideout Odell Beckham Jr. is finalizing a deal with the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams will visit the 49ers on Monday Night Football. Cam Newton was the NFL MVP in 2015 and led the Panthers to the Super Bowl. He played 9 years with Carolina after they drafted him. And now he's going back. If he passes a physical, Newton will join the Panthers. The Cardinals activate wideout A.J. Greene from the COVID-19 list. He missed the win over the 49ers on Sunday. Quarterback Kyler Murray says his sprained left ankle is much better, and he's hoping to play this week against the Panthers. Cowboys defensive end Randy Gregory will be out for multiple weeks with a calf injury. That, according to head coach Mike McCarthy. It's possible Gregory will go on IR. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports Nikola Vucevic has tested positive for COVID-19. He's fully vaccinated but needs 2 negative tests in 24 hours.
Step up your creativity now during Dell's Black Friday event with early access savings up to $300 off, including deals on the latest PCs with Intel Core processors, shop laptops, monitors, and more. Plus, free shipping. Call 800-BUY-DELL. That's 800-BUY-DELL.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Text the nationwide keyword cash to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's cash to 200-200.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Wicked Weed Brewing.
It is the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Second hour of the program, as always, brought to you by Wicked Weed Brewing. Check them out at wickedweedbrewing.com. Wicked Weed Brewing, drink different. It is Thursday, and that means it's Tar Heel time with Jones Angell, as we do each and every Thursday here on ESPN Asheville. Jones, welcome into the program, sir. We got football on tap tonight, getting just a couple of hours away from kickoff here.
Yeah, busy stretch here, Tank, for the Tar Heels, and coming off 2 really emotional games. You know, the really hard-fought game against Notre Dame 2 weeks ago, where they just didn't get the result they wanted. And then last week, of course, against Wake Forest, that dramatic comeback and high effort, high emotion in that one for Carolina, and now a quick turnaround to today. Carolina already up here in Pittsburgh, of course, came yesterday and ready to go against the Panthers tonight. And it'll take all Carolina has, because Pitt is a really good team, really good offensively in particular, and big challenge coming up will be on just a little bit. We're coming on there at 6:30 and kick off right around 7:30.
Right, and before we get into the football or the Pittsburgh game tonight, let's talk a little bit about last Saturday's matchup with Wake Forest. They came in the number 1 team in the ACC. I mean, I guess they're still the number 1 team in the ACC because it didn't count against their schedule. They're still undefeated in conference play. But we were making the jokes of how this game, I mean, you know, we talk a lot about the Vegas lines and stuff on this show, and we were making the joke that you couldn't set the over-under on that game high enough, that you knew there were going to be a boatload of points scored, not only because both of these teams do that week in and week out, because they had just done it last year, and it paid off. I mean, it delivered everything that we wanted, drama down to the end. And you got to give the hats off to the guys for being able to pull off that fourth quarter rally.
Absolutely. And the wild part to me, Tank, is just how similar it was to the game from a year ago. Last year, Carolina was down 21 points in the third quarter with about 6 minutes or so. Carolina was down 18 points with about 7 minutes to play in the third quarter. And in both instances, a couple things happened. One, of course, Carolina's offense was incredibly efficient down the stretch, scoring every time it had the football, having some explosive plays in there, ran the ball well. But a bigger deal was that in both instances, the Tar Heel defense, which had struggled to get stops for a majority of the game, neither defense really got a bunch of stops. But Carolina's defense found a way to get multiple stops in a row. They had an interception and then back-to-back turnover on downs. And those stops allowed the Tar Heel offense then to get the team back into the ball game. And so it really was an impressive performance in that second half. And I think, Tank, that the Carolina offense has kind of quietly been getting better and better and better as this year's gone along. And I think they're running the football a lot better. They're diversifying that pass game. We've talked about that as we've talked here through the season about getting other guys involved. I think you've seen that occur more often.
Right.
And I think they're getting a little healthier up front, which has really helped. That the offensive line is healthier, particularly at that center position. They finally have some stability and higher level of play because guys are healthy and ready and able to compete at a higher level. So I think all that's been good. And now, Carolina's defense is really trying to find some consistency. They're trying to do it against really good offensive teams. Wake is really good on offense. Pitt tonight is really good on offense, and so that doesn't make it any easier. And that's why I think, Tank, turnovers are at a premium. If you can't get a bunch of punts, if you can't just get teams to not gain yards, then turnovers are your best weapon. And I think you saw that last week. A couple of key interceptions from Cameron Kelly. Those turnover on downs that I talked about aren't technically turnovers, but similar. And that kind of stuff, I think, will be important for Carolina's defense coming up tonight.
Were you as shocked at the turnaround in the second half, defensively speaking, without Jeremiah Gemmell on the field? He got taken out of the game because of the targeting call, and he was electric on the sidelines in support of his teammates. But I think it was one of those things without your defensive captain on the field, you were able to do that.
Right. And I think if you'd have said at any point during the week, Carolina, you're not going to have Jeremiah Gemmell on the field for 3/4 of the game. How do you feel about how you're going to do defensively? I'm not sure anybody would have felt great. And Wake Forest still put up plenty of yards and points for sure. But Carolina found a way to make plays. And so I think you've got to give a ton of credit to Power Echols, the young freshman who Carolina really feels like has a bright future. He stepped in and played his most extensive football. It wasn't perfect, but you also didn't leave that game sitting there going, gosh, Power Echols just killed Carolina while he was out there. That certainly wasn't the case. He stepped in and really held his own against a really tough scheme and really good team. And then I think also, kind of on the flip side of that, is having Storm Duck back in the secondary was a big deal for Carolina.
He was a monster.
Carolina has long thought that he was one of their more talented defensive players, and he just hadn't been able to play. He got hurt in the second game last year. That feels like forever ago. And for him to be able to compete at a high level after only practicing, full for about a week. He had been practicing some throughout the year, but very limited. And so for him to only have really one full week of practice and step in, play more than 70 snaps and do a pretty good job, I think that really helped. And it really boosts that talent level and depth level at that cornerback position, because now you've got Grimes and Duck and Kyler McMichael. Those are three really good corners that you can rotate through those two spots. So I think that really aids the Tar Heels defensively as well.
Absolutely. The running game just killed Wake Forest last week. Ty Chandler just took over in the second half. I think I've seen the replay of that 50-yard touchdown to close it out about 875 times. But between Sports Center and the ACC network and hearing the replays of it again on the on the Mac Brown show, all of that, it was definitely the death nail for it. But I mean, I did not expect to see Ty Chandler, 4 touchdowns, 213 yards. He was the rock that we leaned on.
Yeah, and I think, I've talked about a minute ago about the offense kind of quietly getting better as this year has gone along, and I think Ty Chandler is a big part of that. He's an older player, so I think you just kind of assumed that he was going to step in and be ready to go from the moment that Carolina snapped the first ball this year. But I think you have to remember that he's new to this system. He's new to Carolina. And so I think it just took a little bit of time. It took a little bit of time for him to get comfortable with what he was being asked to do, how Carolina plays with his offensive linemen. I think that flips the other way. They needed to get comfortable with him, learn how he plays. I'm sure it took some time for Sam Howell to get comfortable with Chandler as well, because they'd had the same guys back there the last couple of years in Javonte Williams and Michael Carter. And so you've seen that. I think it's been coming, Tank, because if you look, that's now 400 yards rushing for Chandler in the last 3 games. So it's not – this was obviously the biggest one, but it's not like he just all of a sudden started running well. I think it's really been – kind of creeping a little closer and closer. He's a weapon out of the backfield as well. Caught a 30-yard pass in this game against Wake Forest this past weekend. So he's somebody I think that's really fully comfortable and developed into what he can do and how he fits into what Carolina wants to do. Now, it'll be a challenge tonight because Pittsburgh is one of the better defenses in the nation against the run. They have struggled some against the pass, but they have really slowed down opposing rushing attacks. They're second best in the league and top 20 in the nation. I think it's 108 yards, Tank, that they're giving up on average. So that's not a bunch. So it'll be a bigger challenge tonight for that O-line and for Chandler to get those yards. But he has certainly developed to the point now where I think you're thinking, this is a all-conference type of player at the running back position.
Is it because that there is actual growth there, or is it because that we were facing Wake Forest that I feel like there was some different kind of mojo for that offensive line last week?
No, I think it's improving, and I do think a big part is just being healthy. Brian Anderson and Kieran Johnson have just, neither one of them has been 100% healthy until here recently on that offensive line. And again, Tank, I think even if you look back to the Notre Dame game and to the Miami game, there were some signs that offensive line was starting to come together. Now, I do think that Wake Forest's defense is not as accomplished as its offense this year, and so Carolina was able to take advantage of that. But I do think that offensive line is starting to come together. Joshua Ezeudu has been banged up a large majority of the year as well, and so just starting to get healthier, playing together, I do think that is a benefit. And so, Phil Longo, before the game against Wake, had a chance to talk to Coach Longo, and he just said at that time, he said, I feel really good about where this offense is and what's going to happen over the final month. He had just said he had really started to see it come together at practice. He felt like they had taken some big steps forward, and I think you saw that against Wake Forest and even some in the weeks before that as well.
Well, they're going to have a tough challenge, as you said, with a Pittsburgh defense that does kind of pride themselves on stopping the run, but they also can get after your quarterback. And that defense or that offensive line going up against, I know you've practiced it, Habakkuk? Is that how you say his first name? Habakkuk Baldonado?
Yeah, Baldonado. Haba Baldonado. He likes just Haba, so that's easy for me.
Okay.
So I like it too.
All right.
And, he's a beast up there, and that's how Pittsburgh likes to play, and that's how they have long played defense since Pat Narduzzi arrived, and that is, play your corners man-to-man and try to get to the quarterback. And they have 31 sacks so far this season. They've really, the last couple of years, they had 51 sacks in 2019, then 46 last year, 31 so far this year with 3 games left to play in the regular season. So, that's what they do. And so for Carolina, the key is if you can protect your quarterback, then you can hit some balls in the passing game. It's just a matter of can you protect your quarterback. And so for Carolina, that's really one of the keys, I think, offensively, is to be able to keep Sam Howell clean, win on the outside in some of those one-on-one matchups, because if you do that, you can hit some big shots. I think Sam Howell's running ability could be important in this game as well, as it has been most of the year, because it's just a way to keep the defense off balance. it just makes them slow down just a little bit instead of just pinning their ears back and coming right at you. If you give them that threat that you can run by them or bounce off them like Sam has done a bunch this year and head down the field, that just slows them down a bit as well. So I think that could be important tonight too.
You've been talking to the guys around campus, talking to the coach as well. And do you think that last week was a prove-it game to finally be able to step up as this team as a unit with Sam Howell as their offensive leader to step up against a top 10 team and finally get it done? Because it seems like in those big matchups, they've fallen short.
Mac Brown was asked something similar actually before the game against Wake Forest. Did you feel like this would salvage your season or prove it or anything like that? And he said, no, it's the next step. And so I really do think Carolina is, and I know this is a boring answer, Tank, but I really do think Carolina is focused on the process and they feel like they have improved. And they needed to improve from the beginning of the season to now. And they also understood that they would need to play at a higher level to be able to compete here down the stretch. We've talked a lot about how difficult this schedule is, starting with that Notre Dame game down the stretch for Carolina. And even against the Irish, Carolina came up short, but I think they did some really good things. And so I think it's more about the bigger picture. Are you getting better? Are you taking forward compared to we won this game and that shows everybody we could do it? I don't think that was in their mind at all.
Yeah, I'm expecting a great offensive performance from the guys tonight. I think Sam's going to have a big night. I think Josh Downs is going to have a big night, winning matchups on the outside as well. And I fully expect this to sort of be a similar replay to last week of at least as far as the final score looks. I'm thinking over 100 for both teams.
Well, it could be. I mean, Pitt puts up a bunch of points. They're the nation's leader in scoring. They average 45 points per game. They've gone over 54 times this year. Carolina's gone over 53 times this season. So these are two teams that are capable of that kind of offensive explosion. And, Kenny Pickett, the quarterback for Pitt, is such a good player. He's old. He's 23 years old. He's one of those super seniors who took advantage of the extra year of eligibility. And just in reading some about him, the phrase keeps coming up where it's like he's a pro playing college football.
Right.
And I think you see that when you watch him play. The game looks slow to him. He makes really good throws. He's got a big arm. He runs well enough. He's that quarterback that gives you fits because he's not necessarily looking to run, but if it's 3rd and 8 and they drop back to pass and you defend everything perfectly, then he'll just sneak out of the pocket and get them 9 yards and get a first down and keep the chains moving. He's just a really efficient veteran guy. He looks like he's played a bunch of football because he has. I mean, this is going to be his 46th career college start tonight. So that's the real key of the wheel for Pitt. Pickett is just such a good player, and so you can do everything right and still give up some yards and some points. So certainly this has the potential to be a high-scoring game, and I think whichever defense can get a couple of those stops in a row, get a couple of those key turnovers, is going to be the one that gives their team a best chance to win.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty big pressure game for both Sam and Kenny, who have prospects beyond this year at the professional realm. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of scouts in attendance tonight, watching both of these guys as they look for a quarterback of the future for their respective NFL teams. Like I said, I'm expecting both of these guys to perform well tonight. It's going to be a real close one, and not only do you have all of that pressure on top of this of Carolina going up against another top 25 team, Sam Howell and Kenny Pickett both trying to improve their draft stock for next year, but the division is still on the line. I thought that was going to be out the window weeks ago.
Yeah, it is, and for Carolina, I think the Tar Heels are aware that they're still in the mix there, but all they can do at this point is try and win tonight. And if you win tonight, then that door cracks open a little bit more. They're going to need some help because of dropping a couple games earlier in the season that they'd like to have the opportunity to have back, but you can't. So they are aware that they're still in the mix. And then from the Pittsburgh side of things, you win this game if you're Pitt, and you are firmly in the driver's seat coming here down the stretch of the Coastal Division. They're trying to win it for the second time in 4 years. So that I think they are certainly aware of that as well, that they're in good position and great position if they win tonight. So a big one for both these teams as far as the division is concerned, for sure.
All right, let's switch gears tonight, or switch gears here to talk a little bit about basketball, because we had opening night on Tuesday night. Tar Heels get the win 83-67 over the Greyhounds of Loyola up in Maryland. Obviously, this was in Chapel Hill, Hubert Davis's first game. My big takeaway from the game, I love Brady Manick.
Yeah, Brady Manick can really play. He's fun to watch just because he just understands the game. You know, we were talking about Kenny Pickett and being a veteran and playing a bunch of basketball. Yeah, Brady Manick just played a bunch of basketball and at a high level, you know. And that's one thing about these transfers, Tank, is Carolina's picked up some transfers from places that are already playing at a high level. You know, Justin McCoy from Virginia, Dawson Garcia from Marquette, and Brady Manick from Oklahoma. You know, these guys have been in big games. They've been in tournament games. They've been against Power 5 teams. And so the level of competition is not going to be a shock to their system. And so you get a guy like Brady Manick, who's, you know, made over 200 threes in his career, and he's top 15 all time in scoring at Oklahoma. Yeah, he's played Kansas and Texas, and he's been through all of this before. And you can tell he just he knows how to use his body. He knows what his strengths are. He didn't even shoot it very well the other night. He was just 1 of 5 from 3, and he's going to shoot it better than that, I promise, because he is almost automatic when you watch him in practice. So he's a really big asset. And talking about these transfers, how incredibly beneficial are the transfers for Carolina? Dawson Garcia is a terrific. Justin McCoy is going to be one of those first couple guys off the bench that gives Carolina some big minutes. And these guys are key parts of this year's team. I thought in total, Tank, really a positive night. You know, they won by 16. They were up by 25 or 26 in the final minutes before bringing in some bench players at the end. So it wasn't necessarily that the game was in doubt at any time. Loyola got it within 9 or 10 early in the second half, and then I thought Carolina really put its foot down at that point. I think you could tell some differences, you know, especially offensively. Carolina really has opened things up on that side. You know, it's a much more open style of offense as far as just the spacing on the floor. You saw a lot of switching defensively. Carolina is adamant that it wants to be able to switch screens and have, you know, any guy on the floor guard any other guy on the other team at any time. And so all of that was cool. But to me, the big story, of course, was Hubert Davis and this being his first game. And I thought it was interesting, Tank. He's really tried to deflect a lot of the attention and say, hey, this isn't about me. You know, this is still Carolina. This is, you know, just all those things. And I think he meant that, and he did a good job with it. But I also think that after the game, the moment kind of hit him. I just happened to be walking behind him. You know, he saw his son, Elijah, who had driven down from college up in Lynchburg, Virginia. He didn't know Elijah was coming. Then he saw, you know, the team gave him a ball at the end of the game in the locker room and all kind of gathered around him. And I think just the last 6 or 7 months really hit him at that point. And just like what a journey it's been to get to this point and to start this incredible responsibility that he has with a great performance and a win. And I just think it all kind of washed over him at that moment. And so I am looking forward to people continuing to get to know him, because I think if you love Carolina and you love basketball, you're going to love Davis. He checks every single box that you would want as the guy leading your program. And so you hope the wins follow, and they certainly started off on a good note on Tuesday night.
That they did, and they've got a couple of more tune-up games before that Hall of Fame tip-off tournament coming up, the weekend of Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it's next weekend. So actually, so Carolina's got Brown tomorrow in the Smith Center. We'll be on the air for that at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock tip. Then they are a sneaky little road game going to College of Charleston on Tuesday next week. And certainly Carolina will be favored, but that's a road game against a team that'll be excited. So that's not a slam dunk. And then you jump into that Hall of Fame tournament that next weekend. And that's a legit, that's a Final Four with Purdue and Villanova and Tennessee are the other three teams. and you're going to play 2 games in 2 days, and they're both going to be against ranked opponents, and it's going to be some big-time basketball. So that'll be fun, too. And, of course, we still got football to get to, though, and that's tonight. We'll be on the Air Tank tonight here just a bit, 6:30 for that 7:30 kick.
Absolutely. Tar Heel football and basketball heard all season long right here on ESPN Asheville. Always appreciate you taking out the time for us, Jones.
Oh, thanks for having me on. Talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
We are watching some rains roll into the forecast here tonight. Late night rain showers, temps down into the mid-40s here in the valley. Front cruises on through Asheville, and northwest winds take over the forecast for Friday and into the weekend. Our high Friday, 60 degrees, lows in the mid-30s tomorrow night, and even colder Saturday night, down in the mid-20s here, well below freezing here Saturday night, Sunday morning. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go 26 westbound after Hendersonville Road and continuing to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound delays between the 26-240 split and George's Branch Road. Again, 40 westbound near Newfound Road delays. An accident on Hendersonville Road near Biltmore Forest Country Club still causing delays north and southbound in this area. Sweeten Creek Road southbound stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. I'm Lynn Benfield with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Don't stay up late to binge that show. Sleep early to get a Taco Bell toasted breakfast burrito. This is your warning. You can't get one if you sleep in tomorrow morning. Toasted breakfast burritos. Available at a participating Taco Bell location near you during breakfast hours only, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m.
The stockings were hung by the chimney with care in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. St. Nicholas and my family. They'll all be here.
The holidays are coming, and so are the guests. Are you sure your home's ready? Let Over the Moon Cleaning Services do the heavy lifting for you. Right now, Over the Moon is offering Sportsocracy listeners 20% off a deep clean when you schedule bi-weekly or weekly cleanings. Call them today at 585-0146 and book a free estimate. 585-0146.
We're celebrating Thanksgiving this month, and you know what I'm thankful for? Zero Res. It's the only company I trust to give my home the best and most effective clean. Right now, you can get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129 when you mention ESPN Asheville. Schedule online at zeroresasheville.com.
Don't wait to put an end to junk sleep. Shop Mattress Firm's Black Friday sale and wake up a better you. Save up to $500 when you get a king bed for the price of a queen or a queen for a twin. Plus, get a free adjustable base with qualifying Sealy purchase up to a $499 value. Or shop Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America, and get a $300 instant gift good towards sleep accessories. Unjunk your sleep, only at Mattress Firm. Offer valid with qualifying purchase. Restrictions apply. See details at mattressfirm.com.
Today on Hey Culligan, unnecessary contaminants. Here's the referee.
Hey Culligan, that's a flag on my water for flagrant foul taste.
Ooh, that's a tough one, ref, but the solution is a Culligan Smart RO drinking water system that reduces up to 58 contaminants, making your water safer and delicious.
Yeah, I guess I missed that call.
And with the Culligan Connect app, you always know when your filters need changing.
The water's up and it's good.
Good call, ref, and we're already on the way. Kick things off with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Join the action as the Asheville Championship takes place at Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville on November 12th and 14th. The tournament will feature Minnesota, Princeton, South Carolina, and Western Kentucky as the inaugural field. Get your tickets now at all Angell's Markets locations. Be part of the action and follow along as it all starts in Asheville. Don't miss the inaugural Asheville Championship, November 12th and 14th at Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville. Pernicious, adjective, having a harmful effect, especially in a gradual or subtle way. Now, Wicked Weed's flagship IPA, winner of a silver medal at the U.S. Open Beer Championships, isn't harmful unless you're a competing IPA. Brewed in the mountains of western North Carolina, Pernicious IPA will destroy your expectations for all others in its class. Pernicious IPA inspires you to enjoy fresh and often. Order up at wickedweedbrewing.com. Wicked Weed, the official craft beer of the Asheville Championship. Drink different, drink responsibly.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot?
Right you are.
It's ESPN Asheville. Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene here in the Ingalls studio. Once again, thanks to Jones Angell joining us each and every Thursday for Tar Heel time. It's a big game tonight. And are you saying you like Pittsburgh in this game?
I don't really have a lean either way in the money line, but I will take Carolina plus the 6.5. I think this is a field goal game either way.
Okay. All right. I don't know. Part of me feels like this is going to be I'm completely off tonight with you on the NFL game. Like, I think that's going to be a blowout, not even a question. Baltimore's going to go in there and beat the holy crap out of them. On the other hand,
Miami plus 8.5.
On the other hand, in this one, I think Pittsburgh covers. I really do. I just feel like short week, Pittsburgh's at home. I think it's going to matter more to them than it will in the pros. And I think things could be disjointed. I'm not saying Carolina's going to get blown out. Like I said, I think it's going to be a very close game.
Here's the thing. I don't think Pittsburgh's a markedly better team than Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is better, but I still don't think it's all that good. I think they've been propped up by playing a lot of nobodies.
Right.
Because their schedule is gross. Kenny Pickett's going to – and I'll be honest with you. I'll be watching this split screen of the NFL game tonight.
Right.
Because I'm looking forward to seeing Kenny Pickett and seeing Sam Howell in a game where they're going to have to win it. One of those two guys is going to have to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very much looking forward
Well,
to that.
thankfully, unfortunately, I'm not going to be in front of my split screen tonight, but I will have two TVs in front of me in the 570 WWNC studio. We got UNC Asheville basketball kicking off tonight, so if you're bored, you can tune in tonight as
You forgot that, didn't you?
UNC Asheville opens up against Brevard.
You didn't remember you had to do that, did you?
Oh, I did.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, because you haven't mentioned it all day.
I did. I've been planning on it all day long because
is that why you brought
kickoff.
so much food?
That is right. That is why I brought so much food, so I could have two meals today here in the studio. We're going to have UNC Asheville against Brevard coming up on 570 WWNC. Coverage will start at 6 o'clock, so as soon as we're done here, I got to mosey on down the hallway to 570. And then, of course, tomorrow we are going to have another marathon day, for me anyway. Everything kicks off with the morning show, then we got the afternoon show, and then we got the Asheville Championship. You got nothing going on. Asheville Championship at Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville. That is the place to be. Tomorrow night we've got the kickoff of the inaugural Asheville Championship, brought to you by Angell Supermarkets and, of course, Wicked Weed Brewing, the official craft beer of the Asheville Championship, as we've got Minnesota, Princeton, Western Kentucky, and South Carolina in town. 2 games tomorrow, 2 games on Sunday, and we'll have all the coverage for you right here on ESPN Asheville. Let's get weird.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
We know Jeremy doesn't like squirrels.
Nope.
Jeremy's not wild about squirrels. He's not wild about birds. How you feel about raccoons, though?
Not a big fan.
Not a big fan
overall. It's really just it's a much cuter possum, and I don't like that.
It's a much cuter possum. Yeah, your computer's going playing things over there. Raccoons, apparently they have caught on really big over in Canada. Our neighbors to the north. Apparently, especially in the Toronto area, they're really, really there's a fever for raccoons up there. No, it's not because they're all getting bitten. Everybody's just crazy about raccoons. And so now there is actually coming soon to a computer near you. You will be able to play the Trash Panda video game. This is the dumbest thing I think I've ever seen. I found the story on Yahoo, and it's talking about the panda mania, the raccoon mania that has swept across Toronto.
Panda mania,
yeah.
That's nice.
But this guy Jason Lever has he bought this concept for a raccoon-based video game. And I thought, well, is this like Guardians of the Galaxy type stuff? Like there's, it's like Rocket the raccoon just going around shooting stuff with his big phaser. That might be a cool video game. It's not.
Are you just literally a panda?
You are literally a trash panda. You are a raccoon wandering around the made-up street. It's not made up. It's modeled after the actual streets of Toronto. And you just earn points for climbing trees and knocking over trash cans. You get points for the number of the amount of trash that you could eat. He swears to God he thinks this is going to be like a massive video game release when it comes out early next year.
I'm going to say it's not.
It's not.
Although people do play Candy Crush, and I don't understand that in the least.
But there is a video on YouTube where you can go and look up the Trash Panda video game. And I think it's called Trash Panda Nightmare. And it's exactly what it is. We want people to understand the world from a raccoon's point of view. Oh, you mean like, hey, I smell something coming from that big old plastic thing over there, so I'm going to do everything I can just to knock it over. I want to play this game, and now I'm ashamed of myself.
You should be. I'm ashamed of you.
Oh, now I'm ashamed of myself. Like, I'm going to have to give this thing a download.
Patrick Holt on our YouTube stream said, so basically it's like Gary Busey dressed as a raccoon.
Charge your Brave batteries.
Oh, very good.
That's just tremendous.
Very good.
My story.
He swears he's going to make $1 million off of this, and you know what? He probably will.
You know what I would like? You know what game I would play? That same premise, only with Gary Busey. You are a virtual Gary Busey, and you're just roaming around the neighborhood looking for beers to shotgun and weird things to say.
Yeah, no, this is basically just Grand Theft Auto with raccoons,
raccoon style.
Yeah.
My story has a visual aid. If you're on our YouTube stream, you're going to, for the first time, we have a visual aid for weird news. This is John Charles Streckenbach. This is his mugshot because he did crimes.
Oh, he definitely did crimes.
He did crimes. Would you like to know what crimes he did? He is a Colorado man, and he had a problem.
Why am I not shocked he's from Colorado? This is all lining up perfectly.
Well, he had a problem, and it's a common problem that we all often have.
Okay.
He had cobwebs in the house that he was residing in. It was not his house, and that is a very important delineation very soon.
Okay.
What would you use to get rid of a cobweb? Maybe a broom.
Oh, yeah. A feather duster.
A feather duster.
Yeah.
Maybe a napkin if you were very tall.
Mm-hmm.
There's one device that I feel pretty sure that none of us would use. A blowtorch. That's what Mr. Streckenbach, 39, used to clear cobwebs. He was arrested on suspicion of first-degree arson, criminal mischief causing $20,000 to $100,000 in damages.
Oh, my gosh.
And a couple other things, because he tried to clear out cobwebs at the 8800 block of Vermilion Road north of Longmont, Colorado, on Monday with a blowtorch. Well, there are a couple additional problems to this story, because not only did Mr. Streckenbach try to clear out cobwebs with a blowtorch,
right,
he tried to do it in a house that he was not allowed in.
Oh!
Because it was his mother's house, who has a restraining order against him to keep him more than 100 feet away. Now, the mother said, I have been letting him stay here because he is homeless, but she never took away the protective order. So even though she had allowed him to be there, it did not change the fact that he had violated a protective order.
He was breaking the law. Yeah.
And just to make it even better, if you're going to try, first of all, he tried to put the fire out for about an hour before the fire department noticed it.
Don't ever do that.
If you're going to do crimes, what should you never have in your pocket?
Drugs.
Meth.
Yeah.
Don't do crimes.
Don't do meth.
If you're going to blowtorch a house, which you shouldn't do ever, don't use blowtorches in houses.
I want to know where the blowtorch came from.
It was apparently in the garage.
Why?
I looked for, because, sometimes you just need a blowtorch.
I mean, I guess it is Colorado.
You
so,
know why?
Yeah.
You know what I guarantee that blowtorch was not bought to do? Eradicate spiders. That's not what it was meant for. That was meant to
blowtorch
things. As a matter of fact, I'm going to level with you. Here's how naive I am to things that aren't sports. I don't actually know what you'd use a blowtorch for.
The only thing I can think of
The
only thing I can think of is in Colorado, maybe they had like a blowtorch to melt the snow away from the driveway, I don't know.
It's Colorado, so I was thinking of another potential use for fire that you can't use everywhere else because there it's not crimes, but here.
Oh, that joint's
crimes.
legal. Yeah,
that joint's legal. By the way, that reminds me, I totally did not mean to make this a live tease of the morning show. We completely forgot to ask this question, and it's not a question we can ask on this show. It's a question that we must ask on the morning show. Little different vibe. Little not on SEC radio. I have a question that I need to ask our loyal constituency. So at 10 o'clock tomorrow, I am opening the show with a question, and I really need people to explain it.
I can't wait for this.
Well,
he hasn't told me what it is.
Yes, you were the one that said we should talk about it. Then we forgot to.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
We definitely need to talk about this.
We can't talk about it on this show.
Yeah. So tune into the morning show tomorrow morning. We are always live in the Wicked Weed studio at 10 a.m. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Get all of our live videos there and click through to the live video to the YouTube channel. Click on that subscribe button and join the House of Reprehensibles. That is our membership group on the Sportsocracy, and we have a whole lot of fun.
I'm looking at this picture of Mr. Streckenbach.
Yikes.
And I can't stop looking at it going, if you had just shown me that picture and asked me, what did that guy do? I think top 3 answer would have been, blowtorch the house, show me blowtorch the house.
It's like if
we're playing Family
James Vanderbeek were the Unabomber. That's what he looks like.
Kinda.
Yeah.
My number one answer would have been possession of meth, which also would have applied. That would have been the number 3 answer.
Yeah. By the way, don't do crimes.
Don't do crimes. Don't use a blowtorch to get rid of spiders. There are just easier ways to do that.
Right.
And somebody please tell me what a blowtorch is actually used for.
No, Patrick Holt, the question is not thongs or boy shorts. We all know which way you go on that one.
No, I can't. We should move past this.
We should move past this.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the question is, it's a very specific, very niche question. But I, for some reason, feel like a lot of people that listen to us probably have a definitive take on this.
Wow. We started out today's show with the breaking news that Cam Newton is coming back to the Carolina Panthers.
And now we have more breaking news.
And now we have another addition to an NFC team. A one-time great player now going to a team that, well, frankly didn't need him. I don't really understand all of this.
I do.
Odell Beckham Jr. is going to sign with the LA Rams. I just don't understand from the standpoint of a guy who, is not really happy when he doesn't get the ball, is going to a team that already has Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Do you think there's going to be a whole lot of targets for him in LA? Or at this point, is he like Carolina Panthers fans and he just doesn't care about how he performs on the field? He just wants to feel good.
I mean, here's the thing. There are plenty of targets to go around in L.A. Van Jefferson has had a role. Deshaun Jackson had a role.
A very limited role, though.
Well, that's the thing. Odell Beckham wanted a chance to win. So he's going to the place that has the best chance to win. Now, that offense is really difficult to stop. Really, really difficult to stop.
It's not like he's, he's a decrepit wide receiver. I think that's how many people talk about him these days. Like he can't still be a really good receiver in this league. I mean, he hasn't shown it in the last 4 years, but he is still a guy that you have to account for on each and every play, or he is going to hurt you. I don't know. If I were in Sean McVay's shoes, I don't think I would be inviting this cancer into my locker room because that is what he is.
Well, here's the thing. He's going to be on his best behavior. This is his first chance to win in the NFL.
True.
So he's trying to rebuild his value. This is a no-lose for the LA Rams. You're getting him for 1 year, very cheap, and he is a player that can still be an asset. Fact or fiction, he's the best number 3 receiver in the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's debatable.
Sure.
It's him or Antonio Brown, but he's lived hurt. So.
Yeah. Okay.
So for the Rams, this is zero. This is a win-win.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what this tells me is he looked at, because he was down to the Rams and the Packers. Those were the final two.
Right.
No Patriots, no Seahawks, no Saints. He looked at those two teams and went, I have the best chance to win a ring with the LA Rams.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I level. I agree with him.
Yeah, now I just want him to lose, though. I was pulling for Matt Stafford, and now I don't know that I can.
I still love that team. I just love that the Rams have looked at this the exact opposite way that I look at everything in the NFL.
Okay.
Because as a draft guy, I look at everything and go, how can we get young, team-controlled assets through the draft?
Mm-hmm.
And the Rams just go, I don't need any draft picks. We'll just sign what we need. They're like that traveler that I wished I could be that. We all know that person that you go on vacation and they just throw some things in a bag as they're going out the door and they say, if I need it when I get there, I'll buy it.
Right.
I could never be that guy. And I've always wanted to be that guy because I'm 17 pairs of undershorts guy.
Yeah, I can't be that guy because if I buy something new, I have to wash it, and that means on my vacation I got to go to the laundromat, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, see, that's why you should live my way. For me, I buy
just
it
reckless
and I wear
abandon.
it.
We'll just have we'll just have whatever disease is on those clothes.
There's nothing there. It's fine. Frankly, you're drinking out of a cup that you didn't wash before you drank it.
Oh, I absolutely did.
I didn't.
I absolutely washed my cup.
And it's a sweet Asheville championship cup that they sent with our credentials and things today.
That's right. We will be live from the Asheville championship tomorrow.
So is it going to freak you out if I drink out of it?
No, I don't care. I mean, you can die. It's okay.
That defeats the purpose of that.
It's not going to bother me at all.
If I was going to put you in your feelers, then I was just going to pour my lovely sparkling water right in there. But instead, I'll just keep drinking it out of the bottle.
Not even going to make me cringe. Not even a little bit.
So hold on. I got to ask this.
Yeah.
So you can't drink out of the cup without washing it.
Agreed.
So when you buy a beverage like the one that I have in my hand here, this bottle was not – you can't wash that bottle. It's touched as many hands as that cup has. Somebody had to put the fluid in it.
Well, I don't need to I'm not licking the outside of it.
Yeah, you are. It's called the cap. That's where your mouth goes for you to drink it. Unless you're going full Gatorade bottle and just pouring it from 4 feet away into your mouth. I just broke bottles for you, didn't I?
Great. Now I have to wash all my bottle
I just broke
tops.
bottles for you. And you know what? I get a sick kind of pleasure out of that.
Great. Now I have to wash all my bottle tops before I drink a drink. Thank you very much. You were destined to ruin this day for me at some point.
I was. I really kind of made it a goal. But I mean, with what we were talking about with Odell Beckham,
right.
I'd still look at this as, to me, and I know we do power rankings and everything has to be fluid, if you held me down and made me pick who was going to be in the Super Bowl right now, I would still say the Bills and the Rams. It's the two teams I had before the season. Nothing's really changed for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had the Cardinals and the Titans 1 and 2. They have the most impressive resume.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to bet my own U.S. doubloons on something, I'm still taking the Rams and the Bills.
I mean, it's hard to argue. I mean, with what the Rams have already done this season, and then you look at they just added Von Miller, who's going to play this week. Now they got Odell Beckham Jr. to add to that wide receiver core.
Oh, by the way, this is long overdue. When someone joins our membership group on YouTube, we have a button for that.
I'm your huckleberry.
M85, welcome to the House of Reprehensibles. Yeah, I did it that time.
Yeah, you did it. Yes, welcome into the membership group. Thank you for joining.
It's the greatest line in the history of movies. So when you join to be a new fan of ours,
yeah. Share it out with your friends. Tell them to join the group as well. And you can, if you're hearing this and you don't know about the group, we're telling you, go to YouTube. right now.
Or the sportsocracy.com. All you have to do is click on the video on the homepage.
Exactly.
We'll take it right here.
Exactly. Join the membership group, and you too can be a member of the House of Reprehensibles.
I just continue to look at the Rams and go, for the last 5 years, they have literally just traded for anything they needed. And it has never bitten them in the tuchus.
They're a great organization with a great scouting program. It shouldn't surprise you all that much.
Hold on. Devin Joba joined after our morning show this morning. So
I'm your huckleberry.
There you go.
Devin gets the button.
Thank you,
as well.
Devin.
I totally forgot, to be honest with you. If you do it when we're not on air, it becomes slightly harder to remember, mainly because I can't remember my phone number the vast majority of the time. But you can never tap out on your team. But I look at the LA Rams now and go, you live life vicariously, and I kind of like watching it. I like watching a team that just goes, we don't need draft picks. It doesn't matter. Just go get all the stars. We'll have them all.
Right.
And I like that.
You got to have a lot of faith in your scouting program.
And when you draft like they do,
well.
it's
right.
fine.
Right.
We don't have a first-round pick? Cool, we weren't doing so great with those in the first place. But those fifth-rounders, on the other hand, we can hammer a fifth-rounder.
We hit on a lot of those.
I still love the meme that said we drafted Jared Goff, and after seeing what kind of travesty that was, we just went, never again!
Nope. GM can't get fired for screwing up first-round draft picks if you don't ever make one. I mean, you got to stay competitive in that, but... that's
can't have a bust if you never draft in the first round again.
That's right. That's 3D chess right there, my friends.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound is slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 on the eastbound side, light delays between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. An accident reported Long Shoals Road westbound at near CP&L Drive. In the Ballantyne Commons area, an accident, Chimney Rock Road at Howard Gap Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound, stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. And Sweeten Creek Road northbound from Ross Cragen to Mills Gap Road, expect delays. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
From the DuckDuckGo for Privacy Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by TP Howard Plumbing.
Hey, this is Josh Howard of TP Howard's Plumbing. There's nothing worse than a plumbing emergency. Here at TP Howard's, we take great pride in the success of our employees. Our success as a company depends on them. We encourage longevity and promote stability in our workforce. We are growing and hiring. Call TP Howard's Plumbing.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and Navage? And should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug, it's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril, around the back of the nose and out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Join the action as the Asheville Championship takes place at Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville on November 12th and 14th. The tournament will feature Minnesota, Princeton, South Carolina, and Western Kentucky as the inaugural field. Get your tickets now at all Ingalls Markets locations. Be part of the action and follow along as it all starts in Asheville. Don't miss the inaugural Asheville Championship, November 12th and 14th. At Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville.
Festivals, football, the great outdoors. Some people say fall is the best time of the year. It may also be a great time to consider getting vaccinated against COVID-19. Brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
You and your phone have been through a lot this past year. It's been your lifeline to the world. And now some big wireless company is telling you got to buy a new phone from them and sign their contract? They don't control you. With TracFone Wireless, you can keep the phone, number, and network you already have. Already got a 5G phone? Keep that too. Because TracFone runs on America's best networks now with 5G nationwide. Plus, we've got unlimited talk and text smartphone plans starting at just $20. TracFone Wireless. Now you're in control. 5G nationwide access requires a 5G capable device. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Did you know that United Healthcare helps connect you to doctors and therapists with 24/7 access to virtual care?
So I could have therapy from my couch?
Yep.
Or a doctor appointment from my car?
If you wanted to.
Wait, you're right. I don't even like when people see me sing in the car. Couch appointment it is. Virtual visits are just one of the ways United Healthcare helps connect you to better health. Learn more at uhc.com. Plan benefits may vary.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
All right, there's been a hire in college football as well. The UConn program looking to get back on track. How you do it? Bring in a guy who coached in the NFL. Jim Mora.
Playoffs?
Jim Mora is going to come in and take over the UConn football program.
Isn't Jim Mora like 90? Oh, you're talking about his kid. You're talking about Jim Mora. Oh.
It's not that one.
That's less fun. I wanted to just use a media cred to go to Connecticut and just go, playoffs! Right. 4,700 times until they threw me out.
Right.
Maybe I would take that guy with us.
Oh. Homeless James Vanderbeek can't
seems
come.
Like somebody that would want to do crimes.
No.
Hey, we got Panthers, or we got Hornets tickets to give away.
That's right. We got Hornets tickets. Comment of the day.
We've had this on our Facebook. We will be doing these things moving forward, giving away Hornets tickets, giving away different things, Wicked Weed, all kinds of stuff. So be sure to go to our Facebook page, our Instagram, our Twitter, at The Sportsocracy. You will see these things live in the chat thread, all of those things. We just ran this over the commercial break, and it, I would be lying if I said this didn't go exactly the way I wanted it to, because it is Veterans Day.
Yep,
and
it is.
One of our favorite veterans won the tickets.
Yes,
I'll be putting the video where we're using the Eddie Fox spin wheel of you put all the names in and it just gives you one.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Cutshall, one of our favorite veterans. Be sure to thank all the veterans today for their service and all the tremendous things they've done. That's just one of those that, you know what, we did everything the right way and it worked out a tremendous way. So congratulations, Scott Cutshall. We will be sending those tickets to you. Tank will have to do it because he does the e-tickets thing.
Yeah.
They don't trust me with tangible stuff. like anything of actual value, they don't really let me handle.
No, can't do it. You might have to pay off a gambling debt or something.
Hey.
New York Knicks and the Charlotte Hornets tomorrow night at the Spectrum Center. Congratulations, Scott. Happy early birthday to you as well, my friend.
That also worked out nicely because his wife said that in the comments. And when I hit the buttons, I just went, well, that worked out exactly how we wanted that to go.
It was completely random. Had nothing to do with it. We ran the prize wheel.
I have video proof. Everything we do is on the up and up.
All right, anyway, we will have Carolina football right here on ESPN Asheville tonight. The Tar Heels against the Pittsburgh Panthers with the Coastal Division on the line. Win this game and win out the rest of the year, Carolina could be the champions of the Coastal Division and go to the ACC Championship game. News Radio 570 WWNC, 6 o'clock. We got the pregame starting for the UNC Asheville Bulldogs, first game of the year as well. We will see you back here tomorrow at 3.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
We are watching some rains roll into the forecast here tonight. Late night rain showers, temps down into the mid-40s here in the valley. Front cruises on through Asheville and northwest winds take over the forecast for Friday and into the weekend. Our high Friday, 60 degrees, lows in the mid-30s tomorrow night, and even colder Saturday night, down in the mid-20s here, well below freezing here Saturday night, Sunday morning. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Don't stay up late to binge that show. Sleep early to get a Taco Bell toasted breakfast burrito. This is your warning. You can't get one if you sleep in tomorrow morning. Toasted breakfast burritos. Available at a participating Taco Bell location near you during breakfast hours only, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound is slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 on the eastbound side, light delays between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. An accident reported Long Shoals Road westbound at near CP&L Drive. In the Ballantyne Commons area, an accident, Chimney Rock Road at Howard Gap Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound, stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. And
from the DuckDuckGo for Privacy Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Connect has innovative tools for small business and tech so you can work and learn from anywhere. Right now, save up to $50 on select Apple AirPods. Explore what's new at your local Staples or staplesconnect.com. Ends 11/20, limit 2 while supplies last. Staples Connect, the working and learning store.
From the Angell Studios, this is ESPN Asheville. WPEK, W225, CJ Fairview, WMXF, Waynesville.
The Atlanta Braves are world champions.